أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Here once again we have come up with yet another class for you. That's chapter number 6. We have finished reading about its introduction, and almost a half of portion of the story has been read in the previous class. Now hoping that you are all doing well in your studies at your homes and enjoying your lives. I'm going to start. Let me revise it a little bit. First of all, it was the story we are reading is your prose section, chapter number 6, Papachi's Mouth, written by Arundhati Roy. It is actually an extract from her bestseller, instant bestseller, that was The God of Small Things, and for which she had won the Booker Prize in 1997. And here you have been given an introduction that before being a successful writer in her life, she had gone through many difficulties. She studied architecture. She met her first husband, then she left that person, and she married once again to another person, a filmmaker. And by that time she had also worked as an aerobics, that was supposed to that is an exercise which is designed to strengthen your cardiovascular strength, and this before she got successful, she started earning money, a huge amount of money, with the success of her and this novel, The God of Small Things. Here in this novel, she's actually writing there's a shift of temporal shift in the time of the story. It was from 1936 to almost 1993. There are two brothers. She's talking about two fraternal brothers who had become victim of the circumstances, and there's the other characters are the mother and father, that is Mamachi and Papachi, Papachi, who was an imperial entomologist, and the actual theme around which the nucleus of the story, around which the story moves, is that how small things made out of the lives of a people, and how it affects the lives of other peoples around that person. As we have been told in the introduction as well as in the story, that after the retirement of Papaji from the government services, he and his family left to Aymanan to settle out there, and Mamaji started making pickles at a commercial rate. She was asked by the Kotan Bible Society to make some pickles at the beginning, and she got sold out quickly, and she was now started it on a commercial basis. She was she had lots of demand that it was difficult for her to cope up with those demands, and she was now found herself busy throughout the year. On the other hand, Papaji thought it to be a less dignified job to make pickles, or keeping his mainly hautier that he is an ex-service, and it is not suitable for a person of such a high rank to make pickles in his life. He never helped her, although Mamachi on the other side was suffering from conical cornea, that was a disease of the iris, and she was almost practically blind, but she persists with the job, and she got quite successful in her life. Meanwhile, Papaji used to slouch around the mounds of the ground chilies and yellow turmeric and other things, making bed curves, moving around all these things. And he used to beat Mamachi every night, and it was with a flower vase. It was not any unusual act. It was going on since they have been in their conjugal life, but the frequency of the beatings has now grown, and it's much more frequent than before. And one day, the Chaku, the fraternal brothers, one of the fraternal brothers, Amu's brother Chaku, who was an now he was a grown-up person, and he is an Rhodes Scholar at Oxford, and he was a hard-built person, and he, because of rowing for Balliol at Oxford University, he one day caught his father red-handed beating his mother, and he strode towards the study of his father and hold his hands, and the hands in which he would hold the waist, and twisted around his back and told him that he should not do it again. He even emphasized that she should not do it never again, ever again, sorry. And for the rest of that day, Papaji sit there in the veranda stonily looking at the ornamental garden, and refusing the food there which has been served by Kochu Maria, the servant in her home. And in the night he brought his favorite chair, the rocking chair which was made of mahogany timber, which is known for it is brown yellow color, and its hardness. And he broke it into pieces, and he changed it into varnished wickers and splintered wood, a heap of these things in the doorway or driveway. And then from then onwards he never touched Mamachi, and never talked with Mamachi as well. Take care. So he used to use Kochu Maria or baby Kochama as intermediaries whenever he needs something from Mamachi. And whenever he knew that there's going to be some visitors in his home, he used to sit in the veranda and pretend to stitch some of the buttons on his shirts, although those buttons were not missing, to just to make the impression that how Mamachi had ignored him, and he was successful up to a limited extent in distorting the lives of the dimension, or distorting the facets of the working wives in the eyes of the Aymenon. He was successful in corroding that face of the working woman. He one day he bought a sky blue Plymouth, an old car from an English person in Munnar, and he became a familiar sight over there. And what he used to do was that he went out in his immaculate suit, although it looks elegant from outside, but he was freely sweating inside his car. And it's a sort of a revenge that others have ignored him. He felt the ignominy ignominy of the retirement, that people are not respecting him. So he takes a sort of revenge from his family members as well. He never allowed anybody to sit in this car. And before his retirement from he was an imperial entomologist. After the Pusa Institute, after independence, he was his direction was changed from an entomologist to joint director. And before he retired from his job, before 1 year, his designation was promoted to that of a director. Okay. We have read up to this part, and here it's on page number 50. We are going to start from over here. His life's greatest setback was not having had the moth that he had discovered named after him. Now the most shocking or the setback, jhatka jisko kehte hain, the blow he received in his life was not having had the moth that he had discovered named after him. It was named after somebody else. The credit was given to someone else. It fell into his trunk. Now how he discovered this, you have been given told about something about that. It fell into his trunk one evening while he was sitting in the veranda of rest house after a long day in the field, as he was an entomologist and he used to study insects and these flies. he was taking a rest in the veranda, and he was taking a drink, and it fell into his drink. And as he picked it out, he noticed its unusually dense dorsal tufts. Dorsal tufts are the backside portion of the क्या कहते हैं आप इसको, इसमें here you have been given in your book dorsal tufts. Dorsal tufts are or are off on or near the back of an animal, that is the backside part of the flies. A number of short pieces of, especially of hair or grass, which closely grow together or are held together near the base on the back side, जैसे कि छोटे छोटे बालों की तरह जो उगे हुए होते हैं उसके बैक साइड पे, तो उसको कहते हैं dorsal tufts. तो usually dense, unusually dense dorsal tufts, he discovered how it is unusual, like it is not like any other species that are known in botany. So he took a closer look. He watched it carefully. With growing excitement, he mounted it, and knowing that it's an unusual one, he with excitement he mounted it, and he put it, placed it, measured it, and the next morning placed it in the sun for a few hours for the alcohol to evaporate, because it fell into his drink. So he wanted to evaporate, to dry it. He put it on, placed it on a higher place for a few hours in the sunlight. Then he caught the first train back to Delhi, and he went back to Delhi through train to taxonomic attention. Now taxonomic attention means the systematic naming and organizing of things, especially the species of animals into special categories. तो उसको कहते हैं taxonomy, यानी नामजदगी के लिए. Attention, or he want attention, fame in the world that he has discovered. So he went to there in the taxonomic office. He hoped fame. He thought of fame. उसने सोचा कि बहुत शोहरत होगी. After 6 unbearable months of anxiety, though he has submitted that, and it was after 6 months, he had not got any reply. To Papachi's intense disappointment, he was told that this moth had finally been identified as a slightly unusual race of a well-known species. Now he was given a reply that it was a part, it is a species of a well-known species, a slightly unusual race of a well-known species that belonged to the tropical family of Lamantrides. Lamantrides are the kinds or types of flies, moths in botany. So इस तरह से उसको एक जवाब मिलता है. The real blow came 12 years after, when as a consequence of a radical taxonomic shuffle. Now after 12 years he got the actual blow, the setback in his life, that there was a radical, complete, basic change in the taxonomic reshuffling of Lepidopteris. Lepidopteris are the specialists who collect and study butterflies or moths. So there was a reshuffle in the department, and they decided that the Papachi's moth was in fact a separate species in genus Heterto, unknown to science. Until now it has not been known to anybody else. It was declared by the reshuffling of this Lepidopteris. So by then, तब तक क्या हो चुका? Of course, Papachi had retired and moved to Eminent, and by that time he had already retired and he had moved to Eminent. It was too late for him. It was too late for him. उसके लिए बहुत देर हो to assert his claim, to go and say that it has been discovered by him. To the discovery, his moth was named after the acting director of the Department of Entomology, the one who has been working in his place, a junior officer whom Papachi had always disliked, whom he had himself disliked very much. That person was given that credit. In the years to come now, after that, even though he had been ill-humored, he was badmizaj ho gaya tha, ill-humored, long before he discovered the moth, Papachi's moth. He discovered the moth. Papachi's moth was held responsible for his black moods and a sudden bouts of temper. Now he quickly used to become tempers. एकदम से झटके आते हैं उसको, powers यानी झटके गुस्से की जड़ क्या था. This was thought to be one of the reasons that his mood was ill-humored. He was behaving badly. He forget the social etiquettes in life. So this was responsible, it was said. It's pernicious. Pernicious means poisonous या wrong. Ghost gray, ठीक है. Pernicious something was जो डरावना हो, scareful. So pernicious ghost gray changed his color. Furry and with unusually dense dorsal tufts haunted every house that he ever lived in. Now it's pernicious. Pernicious is, I have forgotten to check it, sorry. Pernicious ghost gray something. It is not a ghost gray something. Ghost means something. A ghost भूत जिसको कहते हैं वो मतलब नहीं है यहाँ पे. Ghost gray, furry and with unusually dorsal tufts. He was talking about the fly, the moth he has discovered. He used to the thought of the dorsal tuft and the discovery he has made used to come in his mind time and again to horrify him. This is what he has the author has been telling us कि उसकी जो बार बार उससे याद आता था, तो उसकी जो pernicious is something that is in circular, I think, that comes again time and again that come into his life. तो वो उसको बार बार उसकी ज़िंदगी में आता था. And any house he ever lived in, जहाँ कहीं भी वो रहा, वो उसके पीछे करता रहता था, तो उसको परेशान कर देता था. That's why his mood was blacked out completely, and he used to receive bouts of tempers. तो ये होता था, उसके साथ एकदम से गुस्सा आ जाता था उसको. It tormented, it afflicted, वो उसको परेशान करता था, him and his children and his children's children. Now it led to one generation after another generation. एक के बाद दूसरे को असर कर रहा है उसका ये गुस्सा, हर किसी पे असर रखता था. Until the day he died, जब तक वो दुनिया से रहलत कर जाता है. Even in the stifling Aymanan heat, यानी बिल्कुल stifling यानी दम घुटाने वाली क्या है Aymanan की गर्मी में, every single day हर रोज Papachi wore a well dressed थ्री पीस सूट पहनता था वो, बिल्कुल ड्रेस जो कम्प्लीटली ड्रेस होता था. एंड हिज गोल्ड पॉकेट वॉच, और अपने गोल्ड पॉकेट वॉच जो होता है जेब में वॉच रखते हैं उसको रखता था. ऑन हिज ड्रेसिंग टेबल नेक्स्ट टू हिज क्लोगनी यानी परफ्यूम के साथ उसके टेबल पे क्या होता था नेक्स्ट पे, एंड सिल्वर हेयर ब्रश के साथ. ही केप्ट ए पिक्चर ऑफ हिमसेल्फ एज ए यंग मैन, वो अपना एक जवानी का पिक्चर रखता था उस पर. विद हिज हेयर स्लिकेड डाउन, बिल्कुल वैसे चिपके हुए बाल के साथ जो फोटोग्राफ था. टेकन इन ए फोटोग्राफ्स studio in Vienna, where he had done the 6-month diploma course that had qualified him to apply for the post of imperial entomologist. Now when he went to Vienna to pursue the 6-month diploma, there he took that photograph and he used to keep it on the table until he died. So वो ऐसा करता रहता था जब तक उसकी मौत नहीं हुई. It was during those few months, उस कुछ महीनों में, they spent in Vienna, that Mamachi took her first lessons on the violin. And as we have been told earlier in the story, that one day in the very first instance he broke out the bow of Mamachi's violin. Why this has happened? Because you have been the author is telling here that Mamachi was also taking lessons on violin when they were in Vienna. The lessons were abruptly discontinued when Mamachi's teacher Lansky Teffenthal made the mistake of telling Papachi that his wife was exceptionally talented. Now the lessons of Mamachi's violin lessons were abruptly, एकदम से suddenly discontinued as her teacher mistakenly told ठीक है क्या किया उसने made the mistake of telling Papachi that his wife is an excellent and talented personality. In his opinion, potentially concert class, someone who can take concert classes, who can play violin in the groups and यानी concerts, यानी जो मजालिस होती है किस चीज़ की, म्यूजिकल जो प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं वहाँ पे, तो उसकी वजह से उसने एकदम से बंद कर दिया था. वो तो पहले से ही उसके मिजाज था. Mamachi pasted in the family photograph album. Mamachi ने पेस्ट किया हुआ था family photograph में क्या, the clipping from the Indian Express that reported Papachi's death. Papachi's का death जो उसने report किया हुआ था. It says, वो कहता है, noted entomologist Shri Benan John Ape, son of late Rev E. John Ape of Amanan, popularly known as Punyan Kunju, suffering a massive heart attack, बहुत उसको ज़बरदस्त हार्ट अटैक हुआ एंड पास अवे एट कोटायम, और कोटायम पे उसका डेथ हुआ जनरल हॉस्पिटल लास्ट नाइट, पिछली शब उसकी मौत हो गई। ही डेवलप्ड चेस्ट पेन्स, उसके चेस्ट पेन हुआ था अराउंड 1 AM 1:05 पे एंड वॉज रश टू हॉस्पिटल, उसको हॉस्पिटल ले गया गया। द एंड केम एट 2:45 AM, 2:45 पे उसकी डेथ हुई। शी एपे हैड बीन कीपिंग इन डिफरेंट हेल्थ, उसका हेल्थ जो है वो indifferent था, यानी समथिंग दैट इज़ नॉट इक्वल विद द स्टैंडर्ड्स सिंस लास्ट 6 months, पिछले 6 महीनों से। ही सर्वाइव्ड बाय हिज वाइफ Shoshama and 2 children. Now he has left his 2 children and his wife Shoshama and 2 children. At Papachi's funeral now, at the funeral of Papachi, Mamachi cried and her contact lenses slit around her in her eyes. ठीक है, a contact lens, that lens she used to watch or see things, was slit around in her eyes. It slit around in her eyes, और उसकी आंखों में चला गया। आमू चूंकि उसके कॉनिकल कॉर्निया था, as we have been told in the beginning. Amu told the twins, Amu कुचू मारिया शायद, told the twins, उन दो बच्चों को बताता है that Mamachi was crying more because she was used to him, वो उसके आदी हो चुका था। then she loved him, इससे ज़्यादा कि वो उससे मोहब्बत करता है, वो उसके आदी हो चुकी, इसलिए रो रही है। she was used to having him slouching around the pickle factory, वो उसके आदी हो चुकी है कि उसका जो हस्बैंड था वो पापाची जो है वो उसके माउंट्स के इर्द गिर्द स्लाउचिंग करते हुए ऐसे कंधा लड़का के ऐसे मुंह लड़का के घूमता रहता था, उसकी आदी हो चुकी है कह रहा है। ठीक है, स्लाउचिंग अराउंड द पिकल फैक्ट्री एंड वाज यूज्ड टू बीइंग बीटन फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम, उसको बार बार पीटता था, उसकी आदी हो चुके हैं। आमू सेड दैट ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर वेयर क्रिएचर्स ऑफ हैबिट, इंसान जो होता है वो आदतों का गुलाम सा होता है, क्रिएचर्स होते हैं वो आदतों के। एंड इट वाज अमेजिंग, ये अजीब सी बात है, द काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स दे कुड गेट यूज्ड टू, ये बड़ी अजीब बात है कि वो जिन चीज़ों की आदी हो जाता है। ये दिस इज़ अ प्रैक्टिकल फैक्ट इन आवर लाइफ एज वेल। सो यू ओनली हैड टू लुक अराउंड यू, आप अपने इर्द गिर्द देखें। अमू ने कहा टू सी दैट बीटिंग्स विद ब्रास वेसेस वेयर द लीस्ट ऑफ देम, और जो आप अपने इर्द गिर्द देखें मामाची को वेस से मारता था, वो उनमें से एक अजीब चीज़ों में से एक यही है। Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you for your kind attention. We will take it further in the next classes, inshallah. Thank you.